Good morning, everybody. This is Jake from Jake Sports Takes. How's everybody doing? My apologies, everybody, for not podcasting later in the week. Was busy working. I also had some stuff to do. Um, my apologies, Liam. I know you were looking at when I'm gonna podcast, but I am doing it today. The second round of the playoffs begins. The first round, a couple teams came back from 3-1 deficits to win the series. I mean, Detroit did it to Orlando. And actually, that's a breaking news I will get to right now. Jamal Mosley, the head coach of the Orlando Magic, has been fired after 5 years after the 3-1 collapse, which was a little bit of a surprise to me. I just read it on breaking news. It just must have broken a little while ago. Boston, my champion, who I projected, just lost on Saturday night. I mean, Jason Tatum was out, but they blew that series. They had a shot to win that series, but Joel Embiid came back like a lightning bolt and gave him a jolt. I mean, no excuses. There's no excuses for Boston to choke that series. And then Houston sent the Lakers into a Game 7, but they just couldn't do it. Durant was out for most of that series and played like crap. Series that did surprise me a little bit was Minnesota-Denver. I mean, Minnesota did it for most of that series without Dante DiVincenzo, and Ant-Man, won that series and won it in 6. That's surprising. Actually, I read in the first round, this was the most game set 3-1 comebacks ever in the NBA playoffs in first round history, since they went to a best of 7 series. That's pretty impressive, but I got to give those teams who were down 3-1 a lot of props. Injuries, a lot of stuff has changed this. So, but it's going to be an interesting playoffs. It could be teams coming back from 3-1. It has happened a lot. So I'll give my predictions in a little bit. Saturday was the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby. Actually, something I didn't know about the Kentucky Derby is that was the owner of the horse. I can't remember what the horse's name is, but the owner, it was the first female to win a Kentucky Derby ever. And that's impressive in 152 years. Of course, a lot of them probably had the inequality of stuff, but first female owner to win Kentucky Derby and second female to ever win a Triple Crown race, female owner. So congratulations to that horse. I don't know if they're going to run the Preakness, I believe, is next. That is sometime in June. But anyway, back to the NBA. The matchups are as follows. The number 1 overall seed, the Oklahoma City Thunder, will play the Los Angeles Lakers. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Oklahoma City and San Antonio. San Antonio will face off with Minnesota. You guys know my predictions was San Antonio and Oklahoma City in the conference championship game in the Western Conference. Anthony Edwards is ruled as questionable. That game actually will air tonight on NBC and Peacock. And I believe it's Philadelphia, New York will air, or be the early game on NBC and Peacock as well on NBC. And as I mentioned, that the Eastern Conference is as follows. It'll be Detroit and Now I just forgot the other team that advanced. New York and Philadelphia and Detroit and uh, Cleveland. That's it. Cleveland won by. I mean, they came back from a couple times they were down. Toronto was dominating the first half, and then Cleveland shed into that lead, started running and taking away in the second half. I mean, giving up 38 points is 30 doubling the score of Toronto is absolutely unacceptable in the in a Game 7 playoff game. Jared Allen just went off last night. I saw the game. I was listening to the game on Peacock while I was doing the rotisserie, and he just went off. You know, they were making comments about role players stepping up. They did for Cleveland. You know, but my predictions are as followed: Oklahoma City. I expect them without Doncic. If Doncic is out for how long? I expect the Spurs to Oklahoma City to at least beat them in 5, if not sweep them. San Antonio, if Ant-Man's out for multiple games, maybe Minnesota can steal one, but I expect that probably go that one. I expect to go 6. Minnesota has been. They got wily veterans. Jaden McDaniels was a beast. San Antonio's just a tough team. I mean, when you got a guy 7'6", moving like a guard and shooting like a guard is impressive. You know, I expect San Antonio to take that series. As for New York and Philadelphia, I hope they just beat the crap out of each other. I'm honestly on the fence about Cleveland and Detroit. I think that could easily go 7. They're rivals. I think I'm going to pick Cleveland, and I'm picking New York. I think I picked New York to begin. I think I picked New York in the beginning of this when I did this predictions. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go New York. And I'm going to go with Cleveland in this series. And I'm going to go with San Antonio and Oklahoma City. Matchups I'm looking forward to in these games that I believe will be keys to the game. I mean, in the Philadelphia-New York series, like I said, I think they're going to beat each other up. But there's 2 matchups definitely I'm looking at. Cat versus Embiid. That could be an interesting matchup. And then Maxey versus Brunson. You know, stars versus stars. We'll see what happens. Who can dominate what. That series should go 7. In the Cleveland Detroit series, I'm looking again, big man versus big man. Can Jared Allen be able to contain Jalen Durant? I believe he will, and I believe I'm picking Cleveland. I think Cleveland's superstars are going to step up. But like I said, we'll see. Oklahoma City, just too dominant. It's going to be Reeves. I think it's going to be Reeves versus SGA. I got to give the advantage to SGA. I just can't deny that. And then, you know, how is Minnesota gonna stand up to be able to contain Wemby in that size? It should be interesting. Who are they going to put on Wemby? Are they going to double team him? There's a lot of question marks. Can Minnesota at least split without Ant-Man? He's questionable. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's beautiful out here. It's going to be 70s, high 70s today. You know, mow your lawns. Enjoy the outside weather. Have a great day. Also, I did not. I realized. I heard this morning. John Sterling, the longtime voice of the New York Yankees, passed away at 87 years old. You know, condolences to his family. He was a great announcer for a long time. You know, John, you will be missed. I love you. You know, thanks for the historic calls. You know, everybody who's Yankee fans loved it. You know, I was pretty young, but I heard when I'm 32 years old, and I heard some of his phenomenal calls, either old school or new school. But my Stump the Snake trivia question for the day, and actually this one I don't know the answer to, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. What what playoff? How many? What's the most Game Sevens in the history of the NBA playoffs? As in historically, all the way throughout the playoffs. What year has the most Game Sevens in the history of the NBA playoffs? If anybody has that answer, drop it on my post it. Drop it a like, comment on Instagram at Duke Nats Fan 11 on Instagram. Duke Nats Texans Fan 11 on Instagram. At Jake Sports Takes on YouTube. Follow me on both those. Anybody has a question, just drop it. Everybody have a great day. Love you guys. Peace out, my nerds. And as we do it on Jake Sports Takes, hugs and hand pounds, everybody. Love you guys. And condolences to John Sterling. Love you guys. Peace out, my nerds. And as we do it on Jake Sports Takes, hugs and hand pounds, everybody. Thank you. And have a great day. Have a great week. Love you guys.